After 7 years of doing that, I was like, this is crazy. I don't want to spend my time doing that. I want to go build cool things. We kind of see our broader function as a business as to create a world with more founders. And so the more that we can do to enable founders to go and start great things, the better we are succeeding at achieving our purpose. Kind of builds infrastructure software for software teams. So if you think about the critical infrastructure that most software businesses need to get started, so that's things like authentication, which is the ability for people to sign in and sign out of your software, and billing, which is the ability to charge people for the software that you have. Kind builds those pieces of infrastructure so that founders can really focus, instead of focusing on building infrastructure, they can focus on building the real value in the products that they want to deliver. So they can really think about building the product value instead of the infrastructure cost. So we tried building kind of an early Shopify sort of a thing and an early Ticketmaster sort of thing. And we spent so much time building infrastructure that we weren't actually building product. This was very, very early internet. This was the late 90s. So there was not a lot of infrastructure out there. And so we were doing crazy things like storing passwords in database tables. After seeing this same thing at a company at Atlassian scale, I was then surprised when I then joined Shopify to see the same thing again. We had hundreds of people thinking about infrastructure and thinking about identity, and it was just a massive nightmare. How do we have an unfair advantage? What can we bring to the market that doesn't already exist, that isn't already massively commoditized? And this is why you see so many founders come out of businesses like those and go and start their own things, is because the things that make those businesses successful often are the extra things that they do that are not about building a business. They're about building culture and building team and building mindset within the team. And when you own a part of the company, you behave as if you own a part of that company, right? You make decisions that are in the best interest, hopefully, of the business rather than, personal gain, because you know that personal gain comes from you making that business successful. We're in such an interesting world at the moment that hasn't really existed before, though, which is where, thanks to AI, relatively small teams or even individuals can now go and build businesses that could potentially be worth billions of dollars. We've solved most of the big universal problems in tech now. We know how to sell things on the internet. We have Amazon for that. We know how to communicate on the internet. We have Meta, we have Slack, we have all the tools to do that. The area that we haven't solved today that I think is just the most fascinating space that still exists is this one of